All right, Steve, this week we're checking out No Place for Bravery. We both got codes on Steam. This one's kind of a 2D action RPG hack and slash style game. We played games in this genre before, but this one's actually pretty unique. We're following protagonist Thor, who's actually going after his daughter Leaf, who's been captured, unfortunately, and this has been going on for a while. The story goes on to let us know that this has been a 10-year search now. Thorn hasn't really been able to let go. The world that Thorn comes from is now being overtaken by these monsters, and it's his task to find his daughter, rid the world of these monsters, and kind of go along his way here. But we are getting some Souls-like gameplay in this, man, because the fighting in this game is fast, it's intense, but it is difficult and punishing. This game is pixelated as far as the graphics go, and I think they did a good job here because this game is kind of gory. I mean, as gory as pixelated graphics can be. But it is actually a pretty graphic game with a fairly deep story. I was surprised at kind of how deep of a story they really throw you into. The intro is about 45 minutes long before you pop the title screen, which I was actually pretty surprised about. But actually, I was pretty impressed as well at the same time because they start to kind of immerse you into the story of Thorn and the troubles he's had over all these years, you know, wondering if his daughter's alive or dead. And now he has his son that he brings with him, and they kind of go on this crazy wild adventure to try to get all these things sorted out. And let me tell you, Steve, I actually really enjoyed my time with this game. It is a lot of fun. There's a ton of items you pick up along the way to unlock special abilities for Thorn. He gets some different weapons along the way, whether it's swords, hammers, there's even crossbows. He's got so much stuff kind of available to him in this RPG sense of the game that really kind of expanded it beyond some of the games in a genre like this. I mean, it's a lot deeper than I thought it was going to be, and the gameplay was a ton of fun. But we both did have a few issues. But before we get to that, Steve, what were some of the things you liked about No Place for Bravery?
I absolutely loved it. Everything you've mentioned, it's spot on. The pixelated graphics, it didn't bother me at all. For some reason, the story and the gameplay was pretty solid as well, that I found. The only thing I sort of wasn't over keen on is the couple of dash moves or the dodge moves to clear some of the enemies. It didn't give you enough distance, and I always seem to get that extra hit from a sword or something or a spear. But like you said, that everything is in this game until they've done the update, which we'll talk about in a minute. But they recommend using a controller for this because there is a lot of going on. And I do like I said, because it's 2D and you go traverse from one screen to another, and you do a lot of backtracking. And what I did like is when you're moving, after a period of time, it will speed up the walking because they must anticipate you're going to do a lot of this. So that was a massive help. And like you said, you start with your swords and everything's text to talk as well. And and with the music as well, I love the background audio music that went with the game.
Great. The audio was great.
It actually just everything went so well together with it. And as you progress through, you can upgrade your weapon. You get like a massive hammer, which you have to use to destroy boulders to progress through the other levels. You have boss fights. There is everything in this game.
All right, Steve, our time with No Place for Bravery hasn't been a smooth sailing experience all the way through. Again, we are getting this game before launch, so there are some updates, probably a launch day update. We're kind of crossing fingers here because there was a recent update where after we both did the update, we started running into issues with the game. My issue being I'm playing on controller and I wasn't able to actually switch between my weapons. I was stuck with my hammer, and every time I went to switch my weapons, I would switch quickly and then it would default right back to the hammer. And I tried, quitting my game, reloading. I even tried using multiple different controllers that I know worked, and I wasn't able to get to a solve for this problem. It just kind of kept happening. But as soon as I switched to keyboard and mouse controls, I was able to use my character and all his abilities with no issue. So I don't know if there's just kind of a glitchy thing going on with the controllers. I do know that in the actual menu system, when you're trying to highlight certain things in the menu, it kind of bounces on you. You try to go to quit game, but then it goes to resume game. There's kind of glitchy things happening here since this update. And I know you had a couple of issues too. What are some of the things you ran into?
I had the same thing on the menu screen. It wouldn't let you move it. It will kind of just keep resetting back to where it's sort of positioned. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it'll go blah, 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 and it'll start jolting up to the top. But the worst issue I had was actually with the gameplay. And this was frustrating. To continue my progress, all I had was a black screen and my character, Thorn, and you have all your health bar and your inventory on the screen, but it just keeps moving around. There's no background, anything at all, and I can't progress through the game anymore because of this. I tried resetting it. I tried everything I could. The only way I could really resolve this problem was starting a brand new game, starting a new game slot. And after putting a few hours into this, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, you know what? I don't blame you, Steve. That is a kind of a game-breaking issue. We both had issues that we weren't able to quite fix and really hindered our playthrough of this game. I'm thinking the same thing. I'm probably going to have to reset my game file just to be able to clear this issue with this being able to switch between my weapons properly. It's unfortunate we both ran into these issues because we both really did like this game. Yes. I mean, honestly, Steve, the time that I've had with No Place for Bravery has been good up until some of these game-breaking issues. I mean, I don't want to give this a terrible score, but if I've got to score this game out of 10, I don't think I can give it more than a 5.5. It was difficult to continue on when I ran into the problems. I think this game's got a ton of promise. This game is solid up until the issues I ran into. So hopefully maybe a update before launch or a update on launch day will get some of these issues, but I'm sitting at a 5.5. If you've got to score this out of 10, Steve, what are you going to give it?
Exactly what we talked about it, and it's such a shame because I had so much fun with this game, and I would have loved to keep on playing, going to the different areas and different parts of the map. But again, with me not being able to continue any further with the story, and like you said, I can only score this on what I've played, and I'm going to give this a 5.